In Capital News tonight, President Samia Suluhu Hassan conducts a surprise tour in Dar es Salaam. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa directs government and private institutions to use alternative energy. And in sports, international football player Mamadou Sakho urges Africans to be patriotic by visiting various tourist attractions on the continent. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. President Samia Suluhu Hassan today conducted a surprise tour in various areas of Dar es Salaam, including Kariakoo Market, the rapid bus transport construction project along Kilwa Road, and Mwananyamala Referral Hospital, where she pledged that all projects aimed at benefiting Tanzanians will be completed. At Kariakoo Market, President Samia Suluhu Hassan expressed dissatisfaction on management of the market.
Bidhaa zilizomo ndani ni vurugu mechi. Huoni bidhaa gani iko wapi?
The merchandise inside is chaotic. You cannot tell what item is where. You find someone selling sewing machines next to someone selling agricultural products. I promise you that as the government, we're going to sit down and evaluate the situation in this market. I understand that the minister in charge gave an order for suspension, but we shall look to what level in the current management.
Waziri wa TAMISEMI alitoa hayo maagizo. Kumsimamisha au kusimamisha kidogo, tutaangalia mpaka ngazi gani uongozi uliopo.
During the tour of the rapid bus transport construction project, President Samia Suluhu Hassan directed the contractor to increase construction speed, as only 16% of the project has been done so far.
Tumekuja kuona, tumeongea na wakandarasi, tumeongea pia na wasimamizi wa mradi
in the project and spoke with project supervisors, where we have observed ourselves on matters that delays the project. Generally, as the government, we're not pleased with the speed of the project, where we have urged them to increase speed so that the project will be completed and start focusing on other issues. Completion of this project will simplify transportation. Recently, we changed leadership of the project with one good goal of speeding up the project.
Tunataka mradi huu malizike ili tuingie kwenye njia nyingine.
At Mwananyamala Hospital, the Chief Medical Doctor Zaveri Benella told President Samia that the hospital is facing shortage of employees and medicines. At the end of the tour, President Samia Suluhu Hassan said 200 bed sheets will be given to the hospital.
Wako hapa wanajitahidi. Wapo wale watatu wakorofi, nimeongea na daktari awarekebishe na kishindwa tuambie tuwaondoe.
I have talked to the doctor to correct their behaviors, and if he fails, then he tell us we will remove them. I have been looking at the condition of cleanliness. I have looked at the mother section of getting bath is very clean. Generally, I thank our workers for dedicating themselves to work, each one working on their part. I have provided 200 sheets so that patients can sleep well. At least they should have a change. And so we will go to other hospitals and repair some things. I have heard about medicine deficiency, and it's a thing I'm going to work on. There are things we are completing so that the test can be done here. The government is committed to ensuring that the health of Tanzanians is good.
Sasa mkikuta mashuka yamechanika chanika wagonjwa wamelazwa, pigeni kelele tusikie.
Kassim has directed ministries, institutions and government and private sector organizations, as well as income generating groups which use firewood and charcoal, to start using alternative energy for cooking and other production activities in order to conserve the environment and mitigate effects of climate change. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa gave the directive in Dodoma when launching the World Environment Week.
Kila wizara ifanye ufuatiliaji kwenye taasisi zake na nipate taarifa ya hali ya utekelezaji kila baada ya miezi 6.
Each ministry monitors its own institution and makes sure I receive a statement of implementation statement after every 6 months. How many institutions have been accessed by this service, but how many have changed the system or built the buildings according to the need for alternative energy. Make sure that these maps drawn for the construction of a house must be involved with drawings that submit to gas infrastructure or other alternative use. I also order our city of Dodoma to place a strategic plan to all surveyed areas that can be planted trees, and everyone who gets the plot should be motivated to plant trees so that we can have a green Dodoma.
Makutopora na maeneo kama Mzakwe na maeneo mengine yote haya tutaka yabadilike kuwa ya kijani.
Tanzania Meteorological Authority has said Mbeya, Iringa, Njombe, Katavi and Rukwa will be affected by extreme cold weather between the months of June and July, but that this was a good period for those in the fisheries sector.
14, lakini kwa mwaka huu tunaona kwamba viwango vya joto vinatarajiwa kushuka chini ya nyuzi joto 6 katika maeneo hayo.
This year we expect temperature to go below 6 degrees centigrade in respective areas, which also indicates that it is going to be very cold. But also in central regions, Dodoma, Singida, where temperature is between 10 to 17 degrees centigrade, we expect temperature to drop below 10 degrees centigrade. So far in the southern highlands regions, Mbeya, Uyole, temperature has gone down to as low as 8.6 degrees centigrade, whereby in Rukwa region it is 11.5 degrees centigrade. As this season progresses, we expect temperature to continue to fall, whereby in July we expect to have the lowest temperature.
Samaki wanashuka kutokana na tarehe. Kuna kiza, kuna
The number of fish goes down according to the season. However, we are still able to get fish. Therefore, people should not be concerned. If there is less fish, it means that we get more money because it affects the pricing.
The government has said that it will continue to cooperate with other member countries of the Southern African Development Community in bringing about peace in the northern Mozambique for the benefit of the region. The statement was made in Parliament Dodoma by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Liberata Mulamula, when tabling her ministry's 192.2 billion shillings budget estimates for the 2021-2022 financial year.
At the
SADC summit in Maputo, Mozambique, the member state pledged to continue maintaining security in the northern Mozambique, developing economic diplomacy and good relations with various countries. At the meeting, in their plans, there is a college strategy for AICC diplomacy, which are all outlined in the budget book.
Ya AICC, ya PRM, ambayo yote yameainishwa kwenye kitabu changu cha hotuba ya budget.
Opposition party Chadema has reiterated that it will not recognize the 19 special seat members of parliament attending the budget parliament until they apologize for violating laws and procedures of the party. The statement was made by the national chairman of Chadema, Freeman Mbowe, when addressing members of the party in Mara region.
Kwa sababu tulikataa uchaguzi. Dada zetu wachache kama ambao umeambiwa na wenzangu waliotangulia wakaleta tamaa.
Some of our sisters became greedy. This is very sad. But one good thing about Chadema is there is no mercy when it comes to this. This party has become one of the largest in the country because of principles. If there is a member asking for pardon for the wrongs she has done to this party and its members, then let her come out publicly, strip off her members of parliament position and ask for pardon. This party will be ready to forgive him. There is no shortcut. When Honorable President Samia Suluhu Hassan was speaking to Dar es Salaam elders and leaders, said that she was going to form a government which will take into consideration gender equality, but this has been hard to implement. For instance, the Ministerial Council with 23 ministers, there is only 5 women, equivalent to 21%.
The Minister of Land, Housing and Settlement Development, William Lukuvi, has revoked the land certificate for 4,000-acre Valeska Estate number 735 in Arumeru District, Arusha region, following a long-standing dispute where he directed the land to be allocated to residents of Maloloni, Valeska and Kwaugoro villages.
1,500 acres out of the 4,087 will be taken out and distributed to villages in 3 villages. Every village will get 500 acres. 1,028 acres will be used for agriculture. The district will decide on what type of farming and who is going to cultivate the land. Once land has been allocated to the people, the remaining will be sold, and the rest we shall invest as municipal council, which means we will generate enough revenue. The only farm that is revoked is Valeska, so I thought that if one farm is giving us so much trouble, before we go to other farms, we must be well prepared.
Refugees from Burundi at Nduta camp in Kibondo district and Mtendeli camp in Kakonko district, Kigoma region, have called on the international community to support them with essential necessities such as clothing and food in order to address the problem of refugees leaving camps to go in search for such essentials, a situation that has led to frequent arrests. They made the call when envoys from 6 EU member countries visited the camps.
We have needs like clothes, blankets and food.
Kwa sababu wanakosa jinsi ya kujikidhi mahitaji yao, wanaenda kutafuta nje ya kambi ili wakidhi mahitaji yao. Wakienda kutafuta angalau ya kukidhi kila chakula.
Ambao hawako tayari kurudi, sisi hatuwalazimishi kurudi.
Those who are not ready, we cannot force them to return. What is being said is because we have not sat down and discussed how we are staying with the refugees. We went to Bujumbura, and the government has said it wants all of its people back.
Tukaongea na serikali ya Bujumbura, Bujumbura imesema inataka watu wao wote.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. Welcome back, and in international news, gunmen have attacked and wounded Uganda's former army commander, killing his daughter and a driver in an assassination attempt. 4 attackers on motorcycles opened fire at a vehicle carrying General Katumba Wamala, the Minister of Works and Transport in the Kiasasi suburb, Kampala.
Despicable, it is unfortunate, it is absurd.
It is despicable, it is unfortunate, it is absurd. Honestly, one could not tell if such an incident can occur. The security departments are investigating on the matter. The police force are doing a great job, because without that, such incidences could have been many.
It is doing its best, definitely. Perhaps if we are not doing enough, perhaps we would have many.
The border between Burundi and the Democratic Republic of Congo at Gatumba area has been reopened after it was closed in January this year due to the coronavirus pandemic, with citizens from DRC calling for fees charged for coronavirus testing to be reduced from the current $30.
The fee is very high. We are calling for the price to be reduced. We are neighbors. The government cannot hurt its neighbors.
Kipi ambacho tunasema hivi, tunaomba serikali.
We are calling on the government of Burundi to remove the coronavirus testing fee.
Ile $30 hapana.
And President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya has led the nation in Madaraka Day celebrations to commemorate 58 years of independence that were attended by President Evariste Ndayishimiye as the guest of honor. In his address, President Kenyatta said that the judiciary had put Kenya's constitutional limits to the test by nullifying the 2017 general election and attempting to overturn the people's will through the BBI.
But we cannot engage in political stabilization if we continue to live in political denial. For instance, and I will say it again, everyone knows that the BBI is good. It's good for our country. It is even good for those people who are unhappy with it. But too many Kenyans have embraced fear of change over the need to continuously strive for a more fair, just, peaceful, cohesive, and democratic Kenya.
I want to laud your 2 days launch of various projects in this county and in this region. It is a testimony that there is a government that works and delivers. And it goes to confirm two things. One, that a government that delivers is good for everybody.
Sasa tunasema tunataka tu mwendo mpya yale ambayo mmeanza. Hii mwanzo ni kwanza kuunganisha Wakenya wewe kama kitu kimoja.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows shortly after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and in business news tonight, Tanzania Private Sector Foundation, TPSF, has said investor interest from foreign countries has started to increase after the signing of agreements between local investors and companies from Asia for projects worth more than $100 million.
Uchumi wetu unategemea uzalishaji.
Our economy depends on production, trade and investments. We cannot succeed if there are no good trade environment as well as friendly policies.
Lakini pia na sheria ambazo zinasimamia masuala ya biashara na uwekezaji.
Technology innovation company Smart Codes has said that it is stepping up efforts to empower young innovators so that they can access reliable international markets as well as increase the country's revenues.
The big thing is creation of employment opportunities, because every company will be recruiting their own teams. Solutions are going to be many, whether available online through websites or applications, that their systems are going to be customized in such a way that services or products can reach consumers easily.
The Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade, Exud Kigahe, has directed government institutions to stop bureaucracy in provision of permits and quality standard certificates in order to make procedures competitive in and out of the country. He made the statement at the opening of the 8th trade exhibition in Tanga.
ndio kuna nafasi ya pekee kwa kuwa na rasilimali nyingi.
We have a very special thing of having a lot of natural resources that have not been added value that they deserve. This means that if we manage to add value to our products, I believe we can become the epitome of economy in East Africa. In Tanga region, Honorable Minister, we want to assure you that all production levels, prime emphasis will be productivity. I urge Tanzanians not to buy any product without TBS signs. For domestic products and for imported products must be certified by TBS.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows shortly. Welcome back, and in sports news. International football player Mamadou Sakho, who plays for English Premier League club Crystal Palace, has urged Africans to be patriotic by visiting various tourist attractions on the continent. He made the call shortly after he visited Parliament in Dodoma.
Balozi wa utalii Tourism Goodwill Ambassador to Tanzania, ambaye ni mcheza mpira wa miguu maarufu duniani, ambaye ni ndugu Mamadou Sakho. Mamadou Sakho
Moving on, Simba Sports Club have come out to deny reports they are interested to sign winger Carlos Carlinhos, who left rivals Yanga Sports Club on Monday. Here's more on the story.
The Angolan star was allowed to leave the Jangwani Giants after demanding the same, and immediately reports went around that their rival Simba were interested in his services. Simba Information Officer Haji Manara has dismissed the reports as baseless, explaining the young player cannot play for them. Carlinhos started his season well in the mainland Premier League, but was later plagued by injuries that kept him out of action for some time.
Kyrie Irving says banning fans who mistreat NBA players won't solve the problem. It goes much deeper than that. Here more details.
It's just underlying racism and treating people like they're in a human zoo, Irving said after a water bottle was thrown at him following Brooklyn's 141-126 victory over the Celtics on Sunday night. Irving had 39 points and 11 rebounds to quiet the first post-pandemic full house at the TD Garden and led the Nets to victory in Game 4 of their first-round playoff series. The win gave Brooklyn a 3-1 lead and a chance to clinch at home on Tuesday. As Irving walked off the court, he was nearly hit by a bottle thrown from the stands. Irving and Nets guard Tyler Johnson turned toward the stands and pointed. Police surrounded a man in a Kevin Garnett jersey in the stands before leading him out in handcuffs.
Great Britain will be without a women's player in their Roland Garros second round this year after the 19th seed Johanna Konta was outplayed 7-6, 6-2 in the opening round by the world number 54 Sorana Cristia. Here's more on the story.
Early in the day, Heather Watson fell 6-4, 7-5 to the number 93 Zarina Diaz. Their defeats marked the second worst performance by British players at Roland Garros since 2013, when no Britons reached the second round. As is becoming regular occurrence these days, the last player standing is the informed Cameron Norrie, who defeated Bjorn Frantangelo 7-5, 7-6, 5 and 6-2. Despite the ranking disparity between Konta and Sirster, Konta's defeat was no surprise. Sirster, also the British player's conqueror in the second round of last year's US Open, is 25th in the WTA race rankings that include only results in 2021.
And Eric Garcia has followed Sergio Aguero to Barcelona from Manchester City, committing to a 5-year deal at Camp Nou.
Garcia was unveiled at Barca today and will officially join the club on a free transfer when his contract at Etihad Stadium expires at the end of the month. The 20-year-old has spent the last 4 years of his career at City, having been plucked out of the Blaugrana's famed La Masia Academy, but has now returned to familiar surroundings one day after Aguero's arrival in Catalonia. Barca have confirmed the signing of Garcia in a statement on their website, which reads, FC Barcelona and Eric Garcia have reached an agreement for the player to join the club from July 1st, once his contract with Manchester City is at an end.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Kyrie Irving. Thank you for watching and good night.
Nukuu ya Rais Mheshimiwa Samia Suluhu Hassan.
Serikali ya awamu ya 6 kama ilivyokuwa ya awamu ya 5 itaendeleza jitihada za kuimarisha nidhamu